and this is the Y'all Show, talk with a Southern accent as we broadcast on great radio stations across the South. I'm John Rawl, and we welcome you back into this exciting program. And of course, the headlines for the last couple of weeks have been dominated by the coronavirus outbreak. And here on the Y'all Show, we certainly have that outbreak in mind. And we thought we would do something a little bit different, get a different perspective on the madness that's going on. Yes, it's a very serious health concern. We realize that, but some things out there going on just don't add up. And we've got somebody who knows a lot about how to keep your body fit, and that's one of the best things that you can do going forward. We welcome in Dr. Stephen F. Hotze, and he's our very special guest, joining us from the great state of Texas. And Dr. Hotze is the founder and CEO of the Hotze Health and Wellness Center, and that's in Houston, Texas. And he's also the best-selling author of Hypothyroidism, Health and Happiness, the Riddle of Illness Revealed. And Dr. Hotze, welcome into the Y'all Show.
John, glad to be here, and a hearty hello from Houston, Texas, to all of y'all there and across the South.
Yeah, and it's not too difficult for you to drop that y'all word, is it?
Sir, it's always y'all. When I write letters, I say, I hope y'all are doing well. Y''ALL. That's the way I'm from Houston. You know, Houston, Texas is part of the Piney Woods. You know, Piney Woods extend all the way from Houston to all the way to Virginia, and that's it's whole South down here, my friend.
Yeah.
We're part of the South.
Yes, you are. In fact, when we started y'all, a lot of people thought we were based in Texas.
That's right. That's probably more of a Texas slang, maybe than a Southern slang, maybe. I don't know, but we say y'all down here.
Well, we like the word y'all.
We say two things. Okay, y'all meaning you all,
yeah.
And all meaning oil wells. All. Yeah, it's always good to have some all in the family.
Yeah, all and y'all. I like that.
Yeah.
Dr. Hotze, we brought you on for a couple different reasons. One, to have a good time and chat with you here about the South and Texas and more. But this coronavirus thing is just getting more and more attention, as it should. It's a health scare. But we have you on because you have a little bit different take with your background. Again, working in medicine, you're a doctor. Tell us what you have to say about what's going on, the hysteria of the coronavirus.
Well, John, I'm so glad to have an opportunity to visit with you and your listening audience, because I want you all to take a deep breath and breathe out slowly. There you go. Listen, right now, if you turn on the TV, which most of you all are doing, and I even find myself doing it. I never watch TV, but now all of a sudden I pop this on, and I've quit doing it. It just drives me crazy. So all you hear about is one thing. You hear about the coronavirus. And if all you do is think about the coronavirus and you listen for every statistic, you're going to think this is the worst. This is worse than the bubonic plague that hit in the Middle Ages. It's the most gosh awful thing ever. But you've got to put it in perspective. So what you really got is a bunch of fake news media guys. You got a bunch of health bureaucrats, and you got a bunch of politicians running around screaming, the sky's falling, the end of the world's here. And they're on national TV, and they're on not just a minute, they're on hours every day. Now imagine yourself, John, how you would feel if all of a sudden out of the blue somebody put you on national TV for the next 2 weeks and they asked John Raw to explain all the problems, and you were on, all day long, and everybody in the world knew who you were now. You think that might go to your head a little bit? You might think, boy, I've got a lot of influence, a lot of power. And as a matter of fact, this Fauci guy, I heard him on the radio a week ago Sunday, where he says in this voice, we're going to shut down all the restaurants in the whole country. We're going to make everybody feel the pain. I'm going like, what is this about? I mean, we're going to shut down all the businesses and the restaurants. Well, let's get things in perspective. Here's the perspective, and I want you all to listen to some numbers. Do you realize in the United States so far, and it's going to go up because we're going to start to do testing, but there are 35,000 people out of 327 million. That's 2 out of 100,000. 1 out of 50,000 have been diagnosed with the coronavirus presumptively. They haven't even done the test on all of them. And there have been 458 deaths. That's 1.5 people out of 1 million people have died. That's 1.5 out of 1 million people. This is an insignificant amount because the flu this year, and you can go look at the CDC, Center for Disease Control statistics. Just go online and check these facts out yourself. They say up this year in the flu season, which starts October 1st, just the old-fashioned flu, okay, the annual flu, 52 million, upwards of 52 million Americans have had the flu. That's 1 out of 7. And up to 59 million have died. I'm sorry, 59,000 have died. 52 million have had it, 59,000 have died.
That's 59,000 Americans?
Americans have died of the flu. Now compare that with 458 to the coronavirus. So the flu attacks 1 out of 7 people, 0.1% of those people are going to die. But we've got in the coronavirus, we got 35,000. Compare that to people that have it. And it probably will double because they're going to start doing this testing. It may go up to 100, 200,000. Compare that to 52 million. Compare that to 59,000 deaths. And you really realize, look, if we treated the flu, which happens annually, on an average, 50,000 Americans die every year of the flu. Did you know that?
Yes. I knew it was a pretty high number. I didn't know the exact amount.
On an average. Some years it's 35,000. Some years it's, in 2017, it was 80,000. Okay, die of the flu. Nobody shrugs it. Did you ever see any? Did the president declare a national emergency? Did you have all these guys on TV with people saying, stay home from work, quarantine yourself? Hey, John, tomorrow if you came down with the flu, everybody say, yeah, John had the flu. Would they quarantine themselves? Would they go home for 14 days? Would they wring their hands? Would they worry that they're going to die? No, he got the flu, for crying out loud. It happens. That's what happens. So if you look in perspective, if we treated the flu like we do the coronavirus, follow me, then starting October 1st for 6 months, we would do what? We would stay at home. We wouldn't go to work. The kids wouldn't go to school. We wouldn't go to any sporting events, any public events. We wouldn't go to church for 6 months. And the flu is going to take a whole lot more lives than this is going to take. Because we look statistically, now listen to this, in China, 1 out of every 20,000 people in China, they have 1.5 billion people, has the coronavirus. 4 out of 1 million die. In South Korea, which now that's a communist country, say their figures are all wrong. South Korea has done a great job, better than any country on this. 1 out of 5,000 in South Korea have the coronavirus. 2 out of 1 million die. That's 1 out of 5,000. In America, 1 out of 7 people had the flu. So if you figure we had 1 out of 5,000, yeah, I mean, you can't make the number. You look at the numbers and they don't add up to cause everybody to panic and to be completely petrified about this coronavirus. So what have they told you to do? What have the conventional doctors told you to do? They've told you, wash your hands. Don't touch your face. Oh my gosh. If you touch your face, you're just a bad citizen, and stay six feet away from everybody. Don't get in groups of more than 10. Really? That's the way we're going to keep from getting the disease. Why don't we get healthy? You know what they don't talk about? What you can do to build up your immune system. You know that who gets the flu and gets terribly sick from the flu and dies? Who gets terribly sick from the coronavirus and dies? Elderly people, averaging about 80 years of age, who are debilitated and infirm. Remember, there are about 40 cases of people that died in the nursing homes up in Washington State. Mm-hmm. So debilitated, infirmed, they have heart disease like congestive heart failure, or they got chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, emphysema from smoking all their lives, or they got diabetes. So people that have whose immune system is declined, it's compromised, those are going to be susceptible to viruses and bacteria. That's what usually kills people like that. They get some kind of infection during their lives and they die when they get older. For the vast majority of people, you're never going to contract it. Just think of it right here. In Korea, it's only South Korea, 2 in 1 million people died. 1 in 5,000 got it. Say 1 in 1,000 people. What are your odds of getting this thing? I'd say there are shots of you contracting. You are about probably 1 in 10 or 20,000 because you're younger and you're healthier. If you're older, obviously your chances of contracting, but overall chances maybe 1 in 5,000. It doesn't sound like it doesn't sound too risky to me, does it to you? It really doesn't. But because the flu is a whole lot riskier. Okay, why don't you think about something else? And why don't we talk about this? Did you know yesterday that 1,800 people died from heart disease every day? 650,000 people a year. You don't hear much on that. Oh, go to your doctor, take a statin drug, exercise, eat right. Nobody seems to, it just happens. People die of heart attacks. Did you know that yesterday on the road in America, 110,000 people, 110 people died in auto accidents, and another 12,000 were injured? Every year, 4.4 million people have severe injuries due to auto accidents, and 39,000 die. Why don't we say, well, that's a public health problem, isn't it? 39,000 people. Why don't we quit driving? Why don't we walk? Why don't we get horse and carriages? Why don't we get a bicycle? If you want to save people's lives, think about it. What would that do to the economy? Well, and what have they done here? There's an old adage. Oftentimes the cure is worse than the disease. So what have they done? They've want to shut down every business in America. Some states have shut everything completely down. I mean, millions of people have lost their jobs. And if you think it's going to last 2 weeks, I mean, the numbers are going to go up when they start testing, and they're going to get more petrified, and they're going to say, we got to shut down more businesses. Thank God the governor of the great state of Texas yesterday got on TV and said, we're not shutting everything down. We've got 250 counties in Texas out of 254 that don't even have the virus. Everything's staying open. Now, in our cities run by a bunch of liberal Democrats, they shut down Houston and the county. They shut down Harris County and shut down Dallas, some of the big cities. But for the rest of the state, everything's going blow and not having a problem. But so here you have, look, there's 160 million people working. Mm-hmm. If 120,000 lose their jobs, that works out to about $500 million for a month in lost income. 2 months, that's $1 billion. $500 million here, $500 million. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't mean $500 million. $500 billion in lost. $500 billion in lost income. In 2 months, it would be $1 trillion in lost income. You think that might have an effect on the economy and on people's lives? You think somebody might get stressed? Did you know that stress causes a lot of health problems? How the unintended consequences from shutting everybody out of work are going to be much worse than the coronavirus. So here's what I recommend. If anybody,
hold on, before you give us your prescription here for us here on the Y'all Show, let me remind everybody who you're listening to and who you're enjoying here on today's Y'all Show. We're talking with Dr. Stephen F. Hotze, and he is a medical doctor based in Houston, Texas, with the Hotze Health and Wellness Center, and he's the author of the book Hypothyroidism, Health and Happiness, and you can check that out at Amazon.com. Also go to drhotze.com. That's HOTZE.com is the website for that, and you can learn more about his book and what he does in the Houston area. But a very, very special guest talking about the coronavirus and more. And Dr. Hotze, back to you for your prescription.
Well, first, let me mention, although I wrote the book, Hypothyroidism, Health and Happiness, my key book is Hormones, Health and Happiness. And that's my opus work, and it's sold and produced 120,000 copies of that. If any one of your listening audience, because I like you, John, and I'm going to like your listening audience because
I like you too.
You betcha, buddy. They can call my office at 281-698-8698, 281-698-8698, and say, listen, I heard Dr. Hotze on John Raw's show. Mm-hmm. I'd like to get a copy of the book, Hormones, Health, and Happiness. I'll send it to you free of charge. I won't even charge you for the shipping. I want you to have it so you can get healthy and well, so you enjoy a better quality life. That's what I'm in the business of doing, is helping people be healthy rather than trying to treat an illness. Why get ill? Why get the coronavirus? What can you do? Well, let me give you a simple prescription, folks. And I don't mean a literal prescription. Let me give you a suggestion and a recommendation.
Okay, we're ready for it.
The key thing is get your immune system healthy. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Is that okay? Because people that are immune compromised tend to get sick. They get infections. Well, why don't we have a healthy immune system? I have yet to hear anybody on national TV, any of these CDC, FDA guys say, well, you got to get your immune system healthy. Nobody's even talked about it. I was on national news, Fox News, a week ago Sunday, and this is what I said. I said, look, this is simple. Build up your immune system. Here it is, the prescription. A, B, C, D, Z. A, B, C, D, Z. Vitamins A, B complex, high doses of vitamin C. I recommend 1,000 milligrams per 25 pounds of body weight. Vitamin D, I recommend at least 5 to 10,000 international units every day. Take zinc, 30 to 60 milligrams every day, and take a probiotic. That will help build up your immune system. And then eat healthy. You got to cut out your simple carbs, guys. You know, the pizza, pasta, cookie cakes, the corn, the potatoes, rice, your grits. Got to cut those out because those convert to sugar. That depresses the immune system. Get a good night's sleep. Exercise. And John, those are some things you can do for your physical health. But I happen to believe, too, first and foremost, as a Christian, I believe that we first got to put our trust in God. We say, God, protect my family. I recommend you pray every day. How hard is that? That's what
Amen.
our founding fathers did. So you say, dear Father, I pray no evil would befall my home or myself or my family or friends, and no plague would enter our tent. That's Psalm 91:10. And God's given us not a spirit of fear, but a power and love and a sound mind. Have a sound mind. So trust God and then do what you need to do. I mean, it's one thing to pray. Well, I prayed and said, God, protect me, and I'm going to go live like hell the rest of my life. No. What you do, trust God, and then do what you need to do to be healthy. You've got a free will, and God expects you to go out and do certain things. Take your vitamins, eat healthy, exercise, sleep well. Don't dissipate your life, in any way. Just live an honorable life, and that's going to make a big difference in your overall health. And the third thing I recommend, besides trusting God, taking care of your health, third thing, and that's your physical health, take care of your mental health. Be around people that are positive, that believe in the future, that are confident, that are enthusiastic about life. Don't be around a bunch of, pessimists and all that. Listen to good material. You can go to podcasts. I cut my teeth on Zig Ziglar. I don't even know if you've heard of him. But there's plenty of good, positive material online you can listen to give your brain positive, a positive view of life, a confident view of life. And, as Christians, I believe that we should be very confident. We know who holds the future, and, God's sovereign. So I'm very encouraged and confident about what we're doing. Our office is open. We're trying to help our guests be calm, keep themselves healthy. So far, everything's good, and I believe it's going to be that way. Now, remember, they say the sky is falling, and at least they're not saying that per se, but that's basically what they're saying. That's how everybody feels. Oh, my gosh, the sky is falling. I'm here to tell you, the sky is not falling in.
Well, we like to hear that. Dr. Hotze, thank you again for coming on the show today. One thing I want to point out, as you mentioned, you talk about maybe listening to some of the doubters and some of the people who are putting fear out there, and that some of that comes direct from the White House, and Dr. Anthony Fauci is one of those people that's putting a lot of fear into people, and people are shutting down businesses and such. One thing we got to keep in mind with people losing their jobs, people not sure what's going on, their whole life's been turned upside down in the last week to 2 weeks. Suicide is a real issue here.
Sure. Did you know every year 45,000 people take their lives?
How much?
And this will 45,000.
Oh,
45.
That's got to be a lot higher than that.
Sure, that's a lot.
45.
45,000 people take their lives. That's what the CDC reports. But it's going to go up with this. People are going to think this is the end of the world. By the way, if anybody, let me just go back and just mention, if anybody can't remember the A, B, C, D, and Z, you can go to my website. I have Hotze Vitamins, Hotze vitamins.com, and we list the vitamins that we recommend. I even have a Dr. Hotze Immune Pack. Go to you got a vitamin store in town, go patronize them. If you want an immune pack that lasts 30 days, you can text us and go. You can go online. We'll be glad to supply you with that.
Dr. Stephen Hotze, we appreciate you being our very special guest on today's Y'all Show. It's been an absolute treat to talk to you and be a guy who's kind of brought a different perspective. We haven't been getting the kind of perspective on the national news like what you've just offered. I guess Fox did have you on, so kudos to Fox for doing that. you're a University of Texas medical school alum, and you learned a lot there. And one thing you learned was good Southern pragmatic skills. And we appreciate you coming on here on today's Y'all
My
Show.
pleasure, John. It's great to be on with y'all.
And thank you again for your very special contribution on the show that's all about the South. Dr. Stephen F. Hotze, again, go to his website, drhotze, HOTZE.com. More of the Y'all Show will continue right after this, y'all.